Good morning. My name is Reverend Toni Boehm. It's my pleasure to be here with you this morning and to do this service for you and with the guidance of Spirit. So let us start with an opening prayer. So I just invite you to close your eyes and drop down into your heart space. Taking that breath, we give thanks for this day. We give thanks for this opportunity to come together in whatever way we can to be in that one presence, that one consciousness, that one mind. And in that consciousness, in that one mind, we breathe. We breathe away anything that we have brought in here. Any concern, any anxiety, we let it go so that we can be fully present to that which is about to unfold as awe, mystery, and wonder. And so it is. Amen. Good morning. Our talk for today, our lesson, is awe, mystery, and wonder of unity. And it's so much bigger than that, my friends. It's about the awe, the mystery, the wonder of life. And we're just going to allow that awe and mystery and wonder to unfold as we move forward. So I just invite you to think about the last time you looked up at the night sky. You're really present to the stars, and something inside you said, behold. Do you see the wonder? Do you see the awe? Maybe you saw a comet flashing. Maybe you saw a shooting star. Maybe you just saw the stars and all their magnificence, and it made you think about, ooh, who am I? Who am I in the midst of all of this? For me, when those moments happen, I just allow myself to dance at the edge of mystery, to be in the awe and to be in the wonder of allowing Spirit to unfold something in me. Another moment of awe and mystery is, do you remember when you walked into your first New Thought church or picked up that first New Thought book? And as you did that, your heart opened, you began to cry. Different people have different experiences. But Mr. Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said that moment, that very moment, when you get that experience, I'm home. I'm home. I didn't know I was looking, but I'm home. He said that is the first time that we tap the I am presence. And then a doorway opens for us to enter the awe, the mystery, and wonder of not just unity, but of ourselves. Of ourselves. And we are that place of unity. We are that place of unity, consciousness of that one mind. Remember, the foundation of unity as a teaching by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore was that they had clarity that this was not about Christianity. It was about Christianity. It was first century Christianity, each person being led by the spirit of their being. But when you're truly led by the spirit of the being, friends, what you do is you hold in consciousness the idea of what I do to one, I do to all. You hold in consciousness that this is an abundant universe. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about what really was in the teachings that Yeshua, Jesus, the master teacher, a master teacher, like many other master teachers, what was in those teachings that touched the Fillmore so profoundly? You see, because Mr. Fillmore saw beyond the dogma of Christianity into the hidden mystery of the words contained within the gospel. He saw the mystical message of soul evolution, of soul mastery, of energy mastery through connection with source energy, God. He saw the greater law of one presence, one power of holism. Myrtle Fillmore in her healing letters said, the spark of the divine lives in each of us. The spark of the divine lives in each of us. And they knew that we could flame that spark into a fire that would invite us to release all dross and the adverse ego, the little part of us, so that we could move into something ever evolving, ever expanding. In fact, Mr. Fillmore said in The Mystery of Genesis, life is an ever evolving, ever progressive upward spiral of conscious evolution. And friends, if you don't believe that, look around you. Everything that is going on right now is part of the ever evolving, ever progressive upward spiral of conscious evolution. It may not look like that, but our job is to hold the faith and trust of the idea of, behold, the fields are ripe for harvest, regardless that you see something, the blank ground that has nothing on it. The fields are prepared and ripe for harvest. And so it is that looking at these teachings of a master teacher, we're going to be looking at, how do we overcome that adverse ego? How do we start to look through eyes of awe, wonder, mystery that hold faith and trust and surrender and the capacity to dance at the edge of mystery? Well, first of all, Mr. Fillmore says that the adverse ego, that in us, that lives in the muck and mire of materiality, when we can soar in the heavens of spirituality, that adverse ego can be overcome. He called it in his language overcoming. We overcome, we transform, we transmute. And he says that will create a regeneration. And the other thing we know about the adverse ego is that spirit nudges, ego nags. The adverse ego nags because it wants its way. It makes us unhappy, uncomfortable with the things going on. It gives us discomfort. The adverse ego will create destruction and heap upon that destruction upon those around it, as long as it's getting its way. When we are in the spiritual ego, which is the I am, when we have started to transform, evolve, I like to talk about it in the language of quantum language of when we begin to deactivate the neural patterns of the adverse ego, we begin to activate higher levels of awareness that allows us to always be thinking about what's the highest and best for all and not just me. So looking at those teachings, there are 7 hidden teachings that Mr. Fillmore found in Jesus's teachings, in Yeshua's teachings. He believed that he taught in that first century Christianity, one presence, one power. Now remember, these are woven throughout all of the books in the teachings of unity. One presence, one power, that God within. Love, but unconditioned love. Forgiveness, equality, healing, prosperity, and mystery. And I'm going to speak to each one of those. So let's look at one presence, one presence, one power, God within. It is that, whatever you want to call it, I like to call it now source energy, universal intelligence, universal presence. Sometimes I call it the universal impulse, because I feel that there is a universal impulsing, pulsing through me, guiding my every step. Jesus taught there is one kingdom, and that kingdom is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. And this was different from what was present in his days. Remember, in the days of Jesus, over 2,000 years ago, people weren't able to truly have a personal experience of the most sacred. that was the rabbis and the learned that could have those experiences, but the everyday people did not engage in that. They were led by others. The other thing in that one presence and one power is a promise. Yeshua said, "These things I do, you shall do, and even greater." And even greater, friends. So think about that as you consider the I am essence that you are. So the second one is unconditioned love. Now, normally we talk about love, divine love, but I want to talk about it because divine love has gotten so many attachments to it. Oh, it's divine love. I'm talking about unconditioned love. Love that is not conditioned by my child, my partner, my family, my this, my that. It is love that is in you, unconditioned by your I am presence, your soul esteem in knowing who you are, with your capacity to dance at the edge of mystery, and with faith and trust and surrender. We're going to talk more about that. And because you know who you are, you have soul esteem that your foundation cannot be shaken. The third is forgiveness. I believe that Jesus took forgiveness further than anyone teaching before him, because the teachings of his time were an eye for an eye. And that was the law, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. And Jesus also said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone," when he found the woman being stoned, about to be stoned in adultery, because he knew that at our deepest level, we have all missed the mark. We've all missed the mark, friends. But the glory of the I am essence is in you, is that it can all be forgiven as we give love for anything that has been happened to us, through us, as we start to love ourselves in that soul esteem capacity. When I was growing up, I grew up with a mother that was a paranoid schizophrenic. She believed that the KGB was outside our door at every minute. I mean, paranoia abounded. And when she wasn't in the hospital, she was at home creating havoc. And friends, I came to the place that I thought that I hated her, that she only came here to make my life miserable. But once I found unity in the teachings and began to really do the daily practices, putting prayer and meditation and affirmations to work, my heart opened. And in that heart opening, I saw, and I'm going to use these words, the soul contract that my mother and I had. I saw that she came to support in molding me, not to destroy me, but to mold me into the woman that I was to be. Because of all the things that happened, I became a nurse practitioner. I wanted to be about the physical and taking care of people in the physical. And then I moved from that taking care of people in the physical to the soul, supporting people and taking care of their own souls. In fact, as I really started to evolve and eventually became the dean of the ministerial school at Unity, I found my purpose, and I hold this purpose statement, this mission statement for my life. I am a midwife for the birthing of the soul's remembrance. I am a midwife for the birthing of the soul's remembrance. So next is equality. You know, Jesus broke the rules by accepting everyone. He knew the law of holism. What you do to one, you do to all. He went to dinner with a tax collector who was considered in many ways traitors by the Jews. He sat with women. Women were an integral part of Jesus' inner circle, Mary Magdalene. 70 women followed them when they went places. There was this Samaritan woman that he met at the well. So it's this whole idea of equality. You know, this really brought home for me. I was in Hawaii about 4 or 5 years ago. I was going to dinner with a group of people who were taking us to an exquisitely nice restaurant. And right outside the restaurant was a homeless man. And he was typical. He was dirty. His hair was stringy, dirt under his fingernails, unkempt. And he came up to me and he said, "You are so beautiful. May I hug you?" Friends, in that moment, I knew that this was a gift from God, that I had talked about equality, but could I really let this homeless man hug me? I opened my arms. I was all dressed up. I opened my arms. I brought him in and I hugged him. And when I released and he released, he looked at me and tears welled up in his eyes and he said, "That is the first time someone has touched me in that way in 20 years. He said, thank you, Angel. Thank you." Friends, what that did for my soul growth, I can't even begin to tell you. But equality. Everyone counts or no one counts. Everyone counts or no one counts. That comes from Michael Connolly's writing, but it's so true. The next is healing. And healing has a huge component of faith. You can't do healings, participate in healings without faith, because the teachings of Jesus on healing were revolutionary. He kept saying, "Your faith has made you whole. Your faith has made you whole." Friends, if you don't trust, you don't have faith, because faith engenders trust through surrender and knowing that all is well. You want to be the law of attraction in action? You want to be that intentionality? Remember, Jesus was a healer, but there were probably healers for millenniums. And the thing about Jesus, he didn't take any credit for it. We have healers now. But Jesus knew it is not I, but the source energy within me, moving through me, the universal impulse that does the work. Myrtle Fillmore, the whole reason that Unity was founded, was Myrtle went into a room for almost a year, every day, put out a chair for Jesus, and she read the healing passages within the Bible until she was healed. And then the healing started happening in their homes, and people would come and they would be healed. It started the movement. The next is abundance. We have been calling it prosperity, but I like to call it abundance. The teachings of Jesus about abundance began to take form in New Thought prosperity teachings. During Jesus's time, it was only the rich that could have a relationship with God. Abundance was proof that God had smiled upon a person. And Jesus said, "Not so. God is not a respecter, is no respecter of persons per se. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. It's what you focus on that makes the difference." He said this in the teachings of the Sermon on the Mount when he said, "Let your yeses be yes and your noes be no." In that moment, friends, without the language, he was teaching the quantum process of how you imprint upon the substance of the universe with clarity and intentionality. Yes, yes, yes. It's even greater than affirmation. It's a decree. It's a command. It's an invocation. It's a blessing using the power of the source energy, God through you, Spirit through you, to command the heavens and the earth. So, again, I'll just share a short story. Back in 1978, I'd been in Unity for 4 years. I started tithing. And I was called. I was in meditation. I heard it as loud, so clear, tithe. I looked around, "You talking to me?" "No, I can't tithe. I'm a single mom, blah, 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 blah." And 3 times in meditation, I heard it. So at the end of the month, I tithed. Friends, within 60 days, I had $10,000, paid all my bills, And it came literally out of nowhere. Oh, it was there all the time. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. It was there in the form of I don't even understand it, an insurance policy that we had put money into. But it was there. I didn't even know it. But I was playing small, like I was poor. I was a victim of being poor. And I wasn't. I had all this money at my disposal. But my life changed in that moment. In that moment. And what I know now is you can't outgive God. And last is the mystery. I talked about the mystery. To me, this is the dancing at the edge of mystery with the unknown. It's the prayer, the meditation. It's the being willing to be willing to not know, to have the faith, the trust, surrender, humility, to have the soul esteem, and then put those into conscious action in our lives. In mysterious ways, the energy moves through us. There's multiple references to the mystery in the New Testament. And so Mr. Fillmore says, right use or wrong use, the law is going to work. So why not put it to right use, friends? Why not let the law work for you in a way that's going to bring about authenticity and transparency and intentionality? So in closing, I just want to say two things. One is a quote by Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson. We see the universe as solid. God sees it as liquid law. We see the universe as solid. God sees it as liquid law. And then I want to end with Ephesians. This mystery was never disclosed to human beings in the past generations, as it has been revealed now to those consecrated messengers and prophets by the Spirit. Ephesians 3:5. The mystery is alive now and waiting to move through you. First century Christianity teachings by a master teacher invite you into the awe, the wonder, and the mystery of not just unity teachings, but the teachings of truth. And so it is. Amen. So now is the time for our meditation. I invite you to close your eyes, drop down into your heart space, connect with that awe, the mystery and wonder through that golden crystalline light, a luminous, radiant light, that spark of the divine that lives within you. Breathing into that light and breathing out. Breathing into the light and breathing out. Let the light expand the mystery of the I am as your true self. Invite the divine entourage that dances around you and is willing and ready to serve you. Invite them in to be present as guides and teachers. Be intentional as you know I am willing to know myself outside of what I think I am. Breathe. Just imagine that you're floating in this golden, radiant, luminous light of Christ awareness. You are floating free of anything that confines you. Everything has drifted away. All thoughts, concerns, anxieties, prosperity, health, relationships, peace of mind. Anything that was less than that has gone, and these are now coming in to take up place. Now imagine that you're floating above your body, just above your head. Don't try to stop it. Just allow the free floating experience of higher self to bring to you an image of a time when you felt free. Maybe it could be as a child that you knew you were in joy. Say softly to yourself, I allow the divine self within me to give me a memory. I require to know myself in my fullness and my realization of who and what I am in joy and mystery and awe. Breathe that in. Now invite that joy, that awe, that mystery to unravel in your life anything that is less than the power and presence of the one. Be willing to surrender. Breathe it in. Allow it to happen. We're participating in conscious action through mind action. I say yes to greater expansion of who I am, to the awareness of the mystery of the Spirit in me. Take a deep breath. I am truth. I am truth. I am truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. Free. I am. I am love. I am love. I am love. Love. I am. Forever and ever this is true. And I will seal it with words in Aramaic, the words that Jesus spoke. Matol Delei Melkuta Wahala Wateshputa La Alam Amin Amen. Breathe it in. Let it go deep into your cellular memories. God bless you all. Have a great day. I am Reverend Toni Boehm. You can find more about me at www.toniboehm.com, and that's Boehm and Toni with an I, toniboehm.com. Or you can email me at btoni33@yahoo.com. I look forward to talking to you.